Belgian Grand Prix done and dusted, and so might be George, unfortunately. Anyways, we're gonna talk about this and a whole bunch more just in a second. But first of all, it was a pretty good Grand Prix. I enjoyed it. It wasn't the banger sometimes we see, but I thought it was a good Grand Prix overall. Maybe just a little bit of a snoozer towards the end, but Charles kind of kept it entertaining, you know, trying to hunt Kimi. So overall, a pretty good race. But yeah, let's start with I guess lap 1 and probably, you know, the biggest talking point of the entire race, which is George Russell's and Lewis Hamilton's collision. And first of all, I don't think it was necessarily either driver's fault that much. Maybe just maybe Hamilton oversteered just a little bit, but even then, I mean, like, such things happen like pretty much every race, like really isn't a big deal. And even George after the race said that he kind of had 0% battery once he got up to the hill, and so at that point he was pretty slow, and it was kind of probably hard for Lewis to even adjust himself to George, because he might not even expected him to be that slow. Even George himself just said, you know, this is a racing incident. There's no other way to categorize it. It's just a simple racing incident. They happen pretty much every race, and the FIA's decision, you know, to give Hamilton a 5-second penalty was kind of, I don't know, I don't necessarily agree with it. I mean, we've seen much worse things, you know, happen on the first lap and nothing happens, and now all of a sudden they're like, you know what, 5-second penalty. I don't know, like, technically rules are rules, and if, you know, if he done something not by the rules, he should be penalized for it. But at the same time, then why aren't drivers penalized for much worse during the first lap? I don't know. I guess let me know your thoughts in the comments about this, because I personally think it was nothing more than just a racing incident. And also, you have to understand, George potentially probably lost title here. So Lewis most likely costed George his title. I mean, it's not guaranteed. It's not like George was in the lead of the title, but he was 25 points behind and now he's 50 points behind. So realistically speaking, he probably costed him a title. And the guy that just, you know, destroyed your title hopes, you look at him and you say, yeah, it was just a racing incident. I mean, if George pretty much, you know, getting his whole dream destroyed still can say that this was a racing incident, then this probably was a racing incident. It's of course shame for George. Nothing was going right this weekend, you know. In qualifying he was half a second away. I made a whole video about this if you want to check it out. At this point, I don't even know how he bounces back. I mean, he's 50 points behind. Technically speaking, for Hamilton, I guess he got rid of his, you know, closest title competitor for a price of a 5-second penalty. That is not a bad deal. I would take this deal any day of the week. I don't think that was something, you know, he intended to do. Not sure how George even comes back from this, you know, all the massive, you know, bad luck Kimi had, and George, you know, just putting his 100% effort. He slowly, you know, crawled back to 25-point gap, which is essentially one race win. You know, Kimi DNFs, George wins, that's it. Like, it's 0 between them. Now Kimi can literally DNF 2 times in a row, and George would need to win 2 times in a row just to be even. And now we already pretty much halfway through the season, so it's gonna be difficult. Don't get me wrong, Max came back last year 100 points. Lando came back, what, 40 was it points or something? I don't remember. A solid chunk, and they had less time there than George has now. But then again, Kimi is just in such a magnificent shape right now that I don't see anybody challenging him. Also, if you're enjoying F1 content, be sure to subscribe for more. Now let's get back to the video. Anyways, some more things of note on the first lap. Kimi finally had a good start. Like, it was a really good start. You know, he kept it clean, he kept it in the lead. It was good on him. Max did a pretty cool overtake on him. Fortunately, it didn't last, but it was pretty cool to see. Of course, the Hamilton-Russell collision, that, you know, goes without saying. And Ocon just doing Ocon things. Like, I don't even remember where he crashed. Like, things happened and all of a sudden Ocon, crashed, which is like, at this point, with his luck and how his season been going so far, like, are we even surprised? The guy had the worst luck ever. Yeah, just Ocon doing Ocon things, I guess, this year. But aside from that, nothing more crazy happened during the first few laps. Let's also briefly touch on Piastri and Charles collision. I mean, if you want to call it a collision, just a little left tap, I guess, but a few parts did fly off, and I don't know, for me it's weird how Leclerc didn't get any penalties, even though he kind of moved under braking, while Lewis on the first lap, and we all know first lap, they always take it easy on the first lap, got 5-second penalty. I don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't. You can even say maybe Charles didn't deserve penalty, but you also should say that if Charles didn't get the penalty, then sure as hell Lewis shouldn't, right? Because Charles was definitely more in the fault than Lewis was. So weird decision by FIA, and even Martin Brundle was like, just keeping silent, keeping his words to himself, because he probably wanted to say a few nice things about FIA that obviously he can't, say on the air. Admittedly, that collision didn't really affect either of them that much. Piastri kind of got affected, but then he pitted. I don't remember if they changed anything else. I think it was just tires, and then he was flying. I mean, he wasn't super quick, but it was pretty quick. As far as Charles goes, I mean, he was really quick this weekend, especially in the second stint after, they pitted on their virtual safety car. And by the way, such a good luck for Ferrari. Like, I mean, Lewis already got, his race pretty much destroyed, but it could have been worse, right? If it wasn't for VSC. And for Charles, that VSC almost brought him victory. At least it made sure he's on the podium. Not only on the podium, he took a second place, and he was just chasing down Kimi. He was trying his best. He was fast. Unfortunately, Kimi this season and this race especially was just super quick. He just absolutely dominated the whole race. Though after the first VSC, that was a little bit of a bait. Once they threw out the second VSC and they, showed us a shot of Marshall, running back towards the wall, I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be another one of these. And then all of a sudden it wasn't. I don't know what was going on, but everybody just pitted. So Ferrari got lucky with this one, and good for them. Admittedly, Hamilton leaving the pits was a bit naughty, a bit dodgy. I hope the mechanic is alright. It didn't look like he got hurt. He just maybe got a little bit, snapped back on the floor, but it didn't look like he got hurt, and I hope he didn't. Whether Hamilton should be penalized for that, I don't think so. I know that decision is gonna come after the race, which in itself is like, what the fuck? Just like, it didn't happen like on the last lap or like last few laps. You have at least good 30 minutes, maybe more, to decide if this is a penalty or not. Decide. Just look at the fucking footage and be like, is this a penalty or is it not? Okay, it is. Give it a penalty. Okay, it is not. Don't give it a penalty. Like, I'm sorry. After the race, like, this wasn't exactly, lap 43 incident. It wasn't even like incident that where two teams are involved. You essentially just make a decision on your own. Like, no other teams is getting affected by this. And I don't think it was necessarily even unsafe release, because Hamilton didn't exactly drive away. As soon as he saw the mechanic kind of, falling back, he immediately hit the brakes, and he kind of stopped essentially the release. He waited for him to get out of the way. I wouldn't call it unsafe release, just shit happens essentially. Also it was kind of funny seeing Lance Stroll being told pit because we have a clutch problem, and I was like, guys, I think you have more than a clutch problem. You might want to check the car. The car might be the problem. Every time I see Aston Martin just doing Aston Martin things, I'm just like having such a good time. But aside from that, there weren't too many incidents, I guess. After the VSC, the race kind of slowed down and everybody got into the rhythm. Pretty much the only thing that kind of made it interesting in the last 10 or so laps is just, Leclerc trying to chase Kimi. It didn't happen, but at least it kept the race kind of alive and interesting. Yeah, overall, I would say it's a pretty good race. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next race. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about the race, about the penalties. Do you have any questions? But aside from that, I hope you enjoyed my Belgian Grand Prix review, and I'll see you guys in the next race. Take care. Bye bye.